Concern becomes surveillance when a caring question turns into a demand for constant proof, access, or location. A check-in begins warmly, then expands into repeated response time questions, location requests, password access, or suspicion when you ask for space. Follow the sequence from the first ordinary moment to the reaction that reveals what the interaction is actually doing. The practical test is whether care can tolerate reasonable privacy and a clear limit on monitoring. Imagine a simple fictional sequence. You text that you arrived safely, and the person who cares about you says, "Thank you." Nothing about that exchange requires suspicion. A week later, a delayed reply leads to a request for a live location. You offer to check in after the appointment instead. The alternative answers the safety question without opening continuous access. The revealing moment is the response. If the conversation returns to the specific concern, the request may be clumsy but repairable. If privacy itself becomes proof that you are hiding something, the subject has changed from safety to access. The next step in the sequence is often expansion. A location request becomes a password request. A missed reply becomes a review of messages. Each new layer is described as the reassurance needed to settle the last one. But reassurance cannot work when the rule keeps widening. The person being monitored learns that no amount of information is enough because every answer creates another place to look. This is the central distinction. Care asks for information that matches a specific risk. Surveillance pressure asks for continuing access and treats the limit on that access as a new offense. Use one sentence that keeps both safety and privacy visible. I can confirm I am safe without giving up continuous access to my location or private accounts. Then offer the least intrusive alternative that solves the stated problem. That might be a message after arrival, an agreed call time, or an emergency contact plan. Do not judge the pattern only by whether the other person feels worried. Worry can be genuine. The question is what they believe worry entitles them to control. A reasonable request has a purpose, a limited amount of information, and an ending. It can explain why the information matters and what event makes the extra access unnecessary. An open-ended request works differently. The location stays on after the trip. The password remains shared after the concern passes. A temporary exception quietly becomes the new baseline. Response time is another useful clue. Asking for an arrival message is different from treating every late reply as suspicious evidence. Ordinary delays should not trigger an investigation into loyalty. There is an important counterexample. A genuine emergency may justify faster contact or temporary location sharing. Even then, responsible care uses the smallest access needed and stops when the emergency ends. Shared logistics can also make access practical. Families coordinating a pickup or friends meeting in an unfamiliar place may voluntarily share location. Consent, purpose, and the ability to turn it off keep that arrangement different from monitoring. Watch what happens when you revise the arrangement. A fair agreement can be discussed and withdrawn. Pressure treats any reduction in access as betrayal, even when the original reason no longer exists. If the person says trust requires passwords, ask what specific risk the password solves. Private messages and accounts contain other people's information too, so surrendering them is not a neutral proof of closeness. Write the request in plain language. Note what information was asked for, what alternative you offered, how the other person responded, and whether the demand expanded after reassurance. That record helps separate one anxious conversation from a repeated structure. One poor reaction can improve. A recurring access, accusation, expansion loop deserves a firmer boundary. The boundary is about your own participation, not a diagnosis of the other person. You can decide what information you will share, when you will share it, and what you will do if the request keeps escalating. If setting that boundary could trigger retaliation, prioritize safety. Use distance, written communication, trusted support, or qualified help appropriate to the situation instead of trying to prove the pattern in real time. The decision rule is simple. Choose the smallest amount of access that addresses a specific risk, keep it voluntary and reversible, and give it a clear ending. For example, 2 people may agree to share a route during a late drive and turn it off after arrival. That plan answers a defined safety concern. Requiring the same access during an ordinary workday, then demanding an explanation for every stop, changes both the purpose and the power of the arrangement. Care can survive that rule. It may ask questions or negotiate a plan, but it does not need to turn privacy into evidence of guilt. The goal is not secrecy or suspicion. It is a form of closeness where reassurance can end, private space remains ordinary, and safety does not become a permanent audit. Return to the fictional sequence after the boundary is stated. If the other person accepts an arrival message and turns off the location request, the original concern now has a proportionate plan and a clear ending. If they reject every alternative and insist that only continuous access proves trust, the disagreement is no longer about whether you arrived safely. It is about whether closeness gives one person permanent visibility into the other. That difference matters because a caring intention does not automatically make every method fair. Someone can feel sincere fear and still need to change a monitoring behavior that removes privacy or choice. Do not get trapped debating whether they are a caring person. Stay with the narrower question. What information solves this specific risk, and why should access continue after the risk has passed? A useful agreement names the situation in advance. For a late drive, share the route until arrival. For an emergency, identify who should be contacted. For ordinary days, allow normal delays without treating them as evidence. Review the agreement when everyone is calm. Ask whether both people chose it freely, whether either person can change it, and whether the information is being used only for the purpose that was discussed. The pattern becomes clearer across time. Healthy reassurance reduces the need for extra access. Surveillance pressure uses each reassurance failure as a reason to collect more access, creating a rule that can never be satisfied. Your final test is not how loving the request sounds. It is whether the arrangement protects safety while leaving both people with ordinary privacy, independent movement, and the right to say that enough information has been shared. A proportionate safety request has a clear reason, the least access needed, and an ending. A permanent location rule or password demand fails that test because the access continues after the stated concern has passed. A caring check-in should help someone feel safer. It should not train them to fear every delayed reply, private account, or independent movement. If this helped, save it and subscribe for sharper psychology patterns without the noise.